This is a review of a budget turntable from the Canadian company Fluance. This is the RT83. Now recently I reviewed the RT81, which is a budget turntable, has a few little quirks, much loved by the people who own this particular turntable, and I can understand why. It's nicely made, has an interesting sound, but the RT83 ramps up the quality and hopefully, well, we'll see, the sound quality. If you look at the range of the Fluance turntables, we'll see 6 turntables in total. And if you count down from the most expensive model, that's the RT85, the RT83 is number 3 in that particular list. It's priced around $350 with a very similar UK pound price point. So before I go any further, if you'd like to see the video on the RT81, then I'll put a little link up there, you can check that out. As for the RT83, this is a dual speed, that is 33 1/3 and 45 RPM belt driven turntable. The speed and the power come from one knob that's on the near left of the plinth. That plinth, which supports an included dust cover, is wooden with a walnut veneer, but you can buy the RT83 in black. The included motor, apparently supported by silicone isolation, holds the belt that runs around the outer rim of the aluminium platter. A rubber mat sits atop of that. The turntable features a sub 9-inch S-shaped tone arm with a typical SME type head shell on the very end. You can unscrew that and replace the head shell if you wish. Underneath the Fluance head shell is a rather nice cartridge. It comes from Ortofon. It has an elliptical stylus tip and it's called the 2M Red. Now the 2M Red in itself is a relatively pricey item. It'll attract somewhere around £90 to £100 if you bought it separately. Now, unlike the RT81, which I reviewed recently, the RT83 does not include an internal phono amp, which is intriguing in itself in terms of potential sound quality. Now, if you're looking to hook up an RT83 into your hi-fi, then you'll need to find yourself a phono amplifier. That will either be an external model or possibly one that will be attached to your integrated amplifier. The RT83, like the RT81, is semi-automatic. Now, my definition of semi-automatic and Fluance's definition of semi-automatic does differ, apparently. As far as I'm concerned, on a semi-automatic turntable, when the stylus hits the run-out groove of a typical vinyl, the arm automatically lifts from the groove and returns to the cradle, where the tone arm rests and the turntable hopefully turns off. What happens with the RT83, as with the RT81 I have to add, is when the stylus hits the run-out groove, it stops and nothing happens. The stylus just sits there in the groove. The arm remains in place, the stylus sits in that groove, the record is not moving, everything stops for tea. This is the stylus equivalent of falling asleep on a park bench. It just sits there getting in the way. Now, this is fine if you've been called away or you've fallen asleep in your chair or you're otherwise occupied and you don't have to keep your eye on the turntable. That's okay. But look, be careful. Don't knock your turntable because you could have that stylus skipping all over the place, scratching your favorite record. So just be a little bit careful with that. Now, you can, around the back, turn off this semi-automatic feature if required. Spanning around 41 by 14 by 34 centimeters, the RT83 weighs in at a healthy 6.8 kilograms. Now, in terms of sound tests, I wanted to see exactly what you get for your money. Now, originally, an RT81 would cost you around £250. You can get it a bit cheaper on Amazon these days, but originally it was £250. The RT83 is £350. So what you get for that extra £100? I know you get a different cartridge, but in terms of sound, what do you get? So I did an A/B comparison with those. In addition to that, I brought in a Rega Planner 1, and I did an A/B comparison with that as well. First up, the battle of the two Fluance turntables. Now, to create a level playing field, because the RT81 includes its own built-in phono amplifier, and the performance from that is not amazing, I must admit. What I did was I used the same external phono amplifier for the RT81 and also the RT83. I played Ethel Ennis, who sang in front of a jazz-tinged orchestra while singing He Loves Me. On the original pressing of 1964's, this is Ethel Ennis on RCA. Pairing the two Fluance decks out of the box, as it were, without any tweaks or improvements to either, the RT83 offered a noticeably greater sense of maturity. To illustrate what I mean, take the backing orchestra on this track. Via the 2M Red, the RT83 was able to portray the orchestra as, well, a live entity. That in itself was a bit of an achievement. Hence, the orchestra held that spacious, heavy ambience that is so distinctive of a live orchestra sound. A mass of instruments where the sound of the moment bounces across the orchestra itself and off the walls of the hall they sat in. The 2M Red provided that spacious, lots of people primed with instruments feel. Bass offered a foundation in terms of mass, but did not, because it basically could not, add too much definition because of the microphone placing and the auditorium, while brass offered reverb tails within the mid-range that seemed to scatter in all directions. Now, all of that information was just not there via the RT81. The music was there, sure, and it sounded great for the price, but you just didn't get the subtle stuff, the slices of atmospheric and ambient detail, the nuances that added life. That's what the RT83 provided. The bass sax performance on this track was notable when comparing the RT83 to the RT81. The sax offered a greater focus via the RT83, giving its late song solo a more incisive edge. I then brought in a Rega Planner 1 and I compared that to the RT83. So how did the RT83 cope? It didn't. Not at all. Sonically, that is. It was pretty poor in comparison to a Rega Planner 1. Now, there are a number of reasons for this, I reckon. Firstly, the quality of the arm. The Rega Planner 1 has a beautiful arm. For the price, the Rega Planner 1 is a real giant killer in tone arm terms. The Fluance just can't cope. The bearings are a bit shoddy, the design is a bit, well, full of vibration and noise, and it's not good when you compare it to the Rega Planner 1, that is. Now, the Rega Planner 1, in terms of the arm, is outstanding. It's the best arm available on any budget turntable in its price point and beyond. So that's the first problem. The second problem is the semi-automatic action of the RT83 itself. Now, if you're going to have a semi-automatic anything in a turntable, you're going to have to put stuff inside the plinth of that turntable. That stuff, those extra parts, the actual things that turn the turntable into a semi-automatic, will create noise, whether it's vibration or high frequency noise, or a combination of both. That will mask detail. It will harm sonics. It will lower the sound quality. Now, the RT83 has a far superior cartridge. The 2M Red, with its elliptical stylus tip, is much better than the Rega's spherical tipped Audio-Technica 3600-like cartridge. That particular cartridge on the Rega is... The thing is, the Fluance's cartridge, although it's much superior, has difficulty showing it. It's sort of hitting its head against the brick wall. It doesn't really get the support it wants. The tone arm isn't really doing it. The platter is not as good on the RT83. The platter mat is not as good on the RT83, both compared to the Rega. But that's okay. It's actually okay. Why? Because the RT83 is not an audiophile deck. It's not an audiophile design. The priority of the RT83 is not purely sound quality. Of course, sound quality is important, don't get me wrong, but it's not the only thing that matters. With a Rega Planner 1, the only thing that matters for the Rega Planner 1 is sound quality. Nothing else. It doesn't care about anything else. All it's interested in is sound quality. With an RT83, sound is one important feature. But what Fluance gives you with an RT83 is more than that, which is why it's a lifestyle turntable. Now look, you're getting the semi-automatic action, that's one thing. You're getting a good sound quality. In general terms, it's still pretty good, the sound quality. You're also getting a nice experience. You've got the walnut finish, it's quite a heavy plinth. You've got the on-off switch and the speed control on top of the plinth. So with the Fluance, you're getting a broad range of facilities, a broad range of positives. It's not great in terms of sound quality, it's not the best in terms of sound quality, but for most people, it'll be fine. Now, if Fluance had managed to rope in a better quality arm, say from Project, for example, then the sound quality would have increased further, I'm sure. Don't forget, the tone arm is a support system for the cartridge. If the tone arm cannot perform successfully enough, then any sonic goodies emanating from even the best of cartridges are muddied and broken before the sound even enters the tone arm cable to the phono amp. Further, if the platter was changed or even damped, that would have helped too. Changing the rubber mat, which I disliked intensely, for a felt example or cork would have been another upgrade. Upgrading the head shell would help as well. But adding all of these improvements, I give you that long list, would add to the build budget and ultimately would increase the price of the RT83. It costs £350. If you added all those improvements that I've just suggested, you're going to be spending £550, possibly even more. So you've got to put the RT83 into some perspective here. So what are my concluding thoughts about the Fluance RT83? Well, this is not a specialist audiophile turntable. That is, its priority is not sound and only sound. Sound quality is important, yes, but it's one of a range of features that the RT83 gives you. It gives you a lifestyle experience. It gives you a very nice heavy plinth, very nice finish. It has a very nice on-off switch and speed changer. Now if you change the speed on a Rega Plan 1, you're going to be changing the speed by changing the belt on a pulley, which for many people is just not good enough and is very primitive and awkward. The Fluance RT83 makes changing speed a doddle. So what Fluance is doing here, it's presenting for a price, £350, don't forget, it's giving you a broad, very nice vinyl experience. Very nice sound indeed. It's giving you strong bass, it's giving you pretty good dynamic reach and a pretty good treble as well. Quite fragile actually in many respects. So when you start picking on the features of the Fluance RT83, oh that's not good enough, or I'd change that, or I'd upgrade that. Don't forget, £350 here. It's not a great deal of cash. For what you get for the price, it's a pretty good package. It sounds very nice indeed. You get lots of features and facilities. It's a great little package and it's highly recommended. And that's it. So from me and my VU meter adorned t-shirt, and incidentally, if you do know of any more VU type t-shirts out there, let me know. I'd be interested because I'm doing a little collection here. This is number 2. Anyway, hopefully you can join me on the next video. Until then, bye bye for now.